Good day, everyone. Novel Raster Incorporated has brought you a new title game, which is titled "A Beat Made Possible By," which is a visual novel.
So for this year's game that we're gonna produce, it's a story-based game where your decisions will matter most in a game, since the outcome of the game will be based on your own decisions. And for the most part, is you will have to know each character's attitude for you to complete the game. It's basically a game where you're simulating life, you're simulating social, you're simulating actual events where every decision has a consequence in itself, and everything has to be considered. As you can see, this is our cover for our game. It's basically, for now, is a draft interface, but during the development it would still change. For the next part, we're now gonna talk about the in-depth analysis.
For the in-depth analysis, this tackles gameplay mechanics, the target audience, and the game structure, as proposed by me and Carlo. Now, for the gameplay mechanics, the game is considered as a visual novel with a butterfly effect that your decisions will be based on the ending, and it is story driven. The story uses first person view, which is you as the character will be portrayed by you and you only. The genre of the game is romantic comedy, a combination of romance and love and comedy. Now, this is the overview of the game, which is the whole summary of it.
Of course, our game has its own audience in the market. Simply, our game is limited to teenagers 13 and above. Adults are included. Why? Because while our game does not actually portray any sensitive graphics, we actually have matured language included on the game itself. So basically, anyone who's below 13 cannot play the game, since we might actually affect the young minds audience. And of course, our target market would officially be at SM Mega Mall, at Cyberzone or Artigas. Why? Our target market are usually seen strolling around SM Mega Mall. They usually look for actual games, newly released games. It's where we will find our target audience. That's why it's our official target market. Now, our game structure would be run by utilizing Python language. Now, what is Python language? Python language can be compared to Java. It's more of a simulation of a graphical program rather than just programming itself. It means that you will have to also include coordinates in the game of the actual image, actual sizes, actual declarations of the variable that's going to be used. And Python language is more user-friendly than any other language. That's why for the majority of our company utilizes Python language. And basically Python language is made for visual novel anyway, so yeah. Now for the next part is we're gonna talk about character analysis. Since character analysis covers the main character, the sub-characters, and of course the background characters. Now, the difference between sub and background characters. The sub-characters are more likely the background characters, but they affect the game. Since our game actually has their own consequence, the sub-characters has their own effects in the effects that would take place in the game. While the background characters seem like they just appear randomly, they don't really have much to cover. They don't have much to affect in the game except for visual representation of a person or role. Now, next is the 2.1 main characters. The main characters would be, since again we are doing a first-person view or a first-person interface, there's not an exact image for our character, but we do have in the story. I will include the picture or the character of the younger you, the younger self, because the younger self would have a major effect on the game. Why? The younger self contains the background of your attitude. Why your decisions would limit to those arrays. Why would your character would only choose two specific choices rather than being able to actually make your own decision and apply it to a game? Because simply our character has their own actual character. Your decision will only be made based on the character's thoughts. So as your character develops, your choices also broadens. Who is Tara? Tara is the transfer student that you'd be meeting for the first time on the game. She's basically supposed to be your lover. So she'll only be your lover based on the choices you're gonna make. So it still depends whether you're still gonna be together or not. But the main focus of the story is your development, is the development of Tara and you. You could choose to ignore her, or you could choose to be with her. The next is Tatsuo. Tatsuo is your best friend. Now the character that supports you in a game. He supports you on your decisions. He supports you on your thoughts. But at some point on the game, though, he can become the actual antagonist. Why? Since I'm gonna reveal it right now that Tatsuo actually likes Tara, but since you two are best friends, he's not gonna react to it. He's gonna ignore it, and basically he's gonna support you as usual. But as long as you are making the right decisions, it's less likely that it's gonna become the antagonist.
Shizuno and Hirano are best friends of Taira. They would actually affect the game since they can simulate the decision of the player and could later on change the outcome of the game. Next is the background characters. Shino. First one is Shino. Shino is the suitor of Taira and is eventually turned down by her. His background character, his auntie, adopts him but also blames him for the death of his parents. The next one is Hamara. Hamara is the teacher of the characters. Next one is Taira's brother. Taira's brother is actually homosexual and only appears at a certain point of the game. He made the player jealous, which also simulates the decision making of the player throughout the game. The last one are the main character's parents. These characters, his mother and father, only appeared as the character's past drama.
Now for the next part, the development team, advertisement, and finances. This tackles the development team of the game and the advertisements needed for the game. Now for the announcement of the game, the dates will be released when the game is done. We shall not release a release date for the game, so we will not produce an unfinished game. The type of game is a visual novel, a story-driven, decision-based type, and the technicalities will be our own equipment for the team.
In advertisement, overview, we will be announcing the story of the game and its genre. The story of the game depicts you and yours on how you discover yourself through decision. It will also focus on your lover team, Taira. Also, the genre of the game is based on a romantic comedy and visual novel.
And now, for the trailer and sneak peek, we will provide a teaser in the later stages of the game development and a passive advertising for the game. Passive advertising is providing an information and in-depth analysis about the game without active handouts and posts.
In the part of advertisement, cinematic and poster, we'll be announcing the gameplay and handing out the flyers of the game.
And now for the last advertising, the release and final advertising. We will now switch from passive advertising to active advertising. And we will announce only a limited copy of the game as for the final release, exclusive for the market.
Now we're gonna talk about the finance. Of course, the game isn't gonna be free during development. So we're gonna talk about the finances that we're gonna need. First of all, as you can see from the finance or the table, during the project development, for the first to fifth month, we'll be having a budget for 2,300,400 pesos. Why? This includes salaries and wages, and of course, the advertisement during those months of production.
For the year 2017, the number of copies released are 24,000 copies, and the gross profit of it is 6,076,080. For the expenses, the total expenses for the project development are 5,063,526. For the cost of it is 3,895,020. The provision for taxes, which is the 30%, 1,168,506. And the net income would be 1,012,554. Yun na!
Development team composed of leader producer, owner and senior management team, admin support manager, game dev manager, development support manager, and animation director, technical manager, movie director, lead artist, head programmer, sound director. I am not able to be development support manager. I will support the development team. And also I am the sound director.
I'm Giancarlo Castillo. I'm the senior of the management team. I would be managing, of course, all the three major teams: the animation team, a technical manager or the programmers, and of course the movie director for cinematics.
I'm Julian Elister Calvay. I am the administrator support manager. I am supporting the whole development team. I am also the movie director for the team.
Hi, my name is James Poleandaya. I am the game development manager and supervisor. I will be the one who manage the team for development.
Hi, I'm Mary Kaysilin Makasilhig, the technical manager and also the lead artist of the game development.
And that concludes our proposal for the game titled A Beat Made Possible by You. And we thank you.